What is going on, everybody? It is episode 960 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I'm here once again with my co-host. Introduce yourself, please.
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. Now, normally on a Thursday, we would have Phil joining us, but instead today we have a returning guest. Say hi to everyone.
I'm not as good as Phil. I will admit that immediately. But my name is Cody, Camelot 331 on YouTube, and Camelcast off on Twitter. I'm just here hanging out because I love these people. They're so nice to me.
And people thought that you were big-timing us and that you weren't going to show up on PCC because you're too famous. And we were saying, no, he actually asked. We're the big-timers.
No, he reached out. He's like, let's get together next week. And then you were on IRL last night.
Yeah, it all worked out. I didn't actually know I was going to be on IRL last night. The driver was just like, hey, let's go. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm in my undies, like sitting here, like watching some stuff. He's like, no, we got to go. And I'm like, but I thought that was tomorrow.
Oh, there was a mix-up? What came up on IRL last night?
What did we talk?
You don't remember at all?
We talked about...
Anything interesting?
What did we talk about? We talked about the weather.
Hillary.
It's been like 15 minutes and you still can't think of anything.
We talked about Hillary being at the foot of your bed at 3 a.m.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I think about.
Is Hillary your sleep paralysis?
Yeah, dude, I wake up in sweats, like with her. So when we were talking about her possibly getting arrested, I'll be like, finally, I can sleep again.
I mean, that's never going to happen. I really don't think that's going to happen. I don't think anybody does.
She'll swallow one of those pills where she just falls over.
Yeah, no, man. She'll just she's one of those evil villains where the FBI agent comes to arrest her, and then the two agents on the side turn on him, and actually we worked for her.
And then she'll just be in Argentina and have a different name, and then she'll be fine.
Yeah. So, guys, we got a bunch of stuff to get into today. We are very glad that you are here. But before we get started, hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. Please and thank you. Remember to share the episode and the segments out with everybody in your life that you both love and hate. In fact, the more people that you share it with, the faster this channel can grow. And if you send it to people you hate, you should argue with them about whatever we're talking about in the comments section to increase our engagement. It is a fantastic way to help us out. And Mary has coffee.
Yes, I do. Go over to castbrew.com. Get yourself a bag of Mary's Ghost Blend, my s'mores flavored coffee, if you haven't already. And as we're getting closer and closer to Thanksgiving, I have no idea how long this discount code is going to be effective, but Turkey20 for 20% off.
There you go. I do want to give you guys a reminder. I will have a brand new episode of the PCC Weekend Update coming out on Saturday at 5 p.m. This one's over an hour long, and I got a bunch of stuff in there, and it's really good. I also may have an additional piece of media coming for you guys in the next coming days as well, so stay tuned for that. So what are we getting into today? Well, Toy Story is finally addressing why they put an iPad in their new movie, but that's not even what matters, because what matters is that there's AI toys that are teaching kids how to start fires and to cause problems.
You know, we were joking off air about the type of topics that both of us gravitate to, and for you, it's like normal like entertainment industry stuff, and then for me, it's like, hey, these AI-powered toys are telling kids about BDSM. Yeah. And that is literally what we are talking about today.
So we are going to discuss that. We are also going to talk about influencers who are being paid to market antidepressants, which is depressing in and of itself. Yeah. It becomes kind of a cycle. So we're going to talk about it. Also, we had a question, and it's up in the poll for all of you to answer. Do you eat alone? It's kind of like May I Meet You, but do you eat alone?
May I meet you?
Do you eat alone? And then on top of just answering it, I guess we're going to discuss, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. I personally have gone out to eat alone plenty of times in my life. It's never bothered me. But other people feel differently. So you should answer in the chat. First, you should answer the poll. And you should have a lively discussion with us when we talk about it. So we got that. We got a bunch of other stuff. If you're ready, we can go. Are you ready, Mary?
I think so.
Ready? This is your turn. You got to tell
me. Yeah, I'm ready.
Can't go.
Tell us if you're ready.
Yes.
I was thinking about eating alone, and I was getting real sad and
hungry.
So I was completely out of it. Yeah.
All right, let's get started.
Okay, so I thought that the beef between Billie Eilish and Elon Musk had fully fizzled out over the past few days, but in case you missed it, let me fill you in on the details. So Billie posted on her Instagram a bunch of slides from one of these woke infographic accounts. Really, it came from this NGO page called My Voice, My Choice. And it was directed at Elon Musk when she posted it. So it was calling on him to do the following. Number 1, end world hunger. Elon Musk could choose to spend $40 billion every year to end world hunger by 2030 or provide universal safe clean water for $140 billion for the planet for the next 7 years. She skipped number 2, which we'll get to in a second. But number 3, save endangered species. To save all 10,443 critically endangered species, Elon could pay $1 to $2 billion annually to bring all of them down to endangered status. 4, rebuild Gaza.
Yes.
Which would cost, they said, $53.2 billion. Elon could rebuild Gaza and the occupied West Bank,
As long
according
as he
to the
doesn't
EU.
make a profit from it, they would
And
say.
then she followed all this up saying, etc. ... Effing pathetic. Beep. Bitch. Coward. Okay, and this is the funniest part. She skipped one slide on that post.
What was it?
Interestingly enough, it was number 2, cure disease. Elon Musk could pay $10 billion every year to vaccinate 140 million newborn babies against polio, measles, and tetanus for the next 100 years.
Wait, why did she skip that one?
Because she's low-key anti-vaxxer, maybe. No, I don't
is that
know
what they're
why.
saying?
I really don't know why she skipped number 2. It is actually interesting that she left that one out.
The endangered species one feels like the niche one in 2025.
Yeah, who
like
cares?
that's what the 80s celebrities
Yeah,
would
no
be
one
talking
cares about them anymore.
Also, we're
Like-
already on track to, as Phil told us yesterday, to end world hunger anyway.
What
so.
if she had been like, and saved the rainforest?
Yeah.
Then it would have really felt like the 80s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love how people like these kind of people like Billie Eilish or anybody else they're always so quick to advocate for someone else's money to be spent, not
Of
theirs
course.
100%. And also it's weird how she still has this like elementary school level of thought when it comes to net worth. It's like, oh, he has this net worth, therefore he has that money in his pocket and he can just save the bees. And the bees don't give no dams because the bees.
That was another one that was really popular.
Yeah,
Save the
they're
bees,
they're
huh?
gonna take the bees are just gonna take everything and then just hoard it. Like it's like we pretty much don't have hunger in America. Let's be honest. Like in small pockets maybe, but we don't have that kind of poverty-stricken hunger in America. And all the kids are obese. So do you want a whole planet of obese people? No. I need somebody to look at this and shape every once in a
It's
while.
what they literally say, like, only in America can you find fat homeless people.
Yeah, yeah. They're just waddling around, and there's some of those homeless ladies that look pretty good though. Because you know what, the common phrase is like, yeah, she doesn't eat, and yeah, she's on a ton of stuff, but God, she looks great.
Plus she's walking to get everywhere.
Yeah, no,
that's how I lost weight.
I unironically saw this video of this guy. He would go around and he would interview homeless people, and the most popular one on his channel was this girl that had short like hair, and she was just beautiful. And he was like, "Why are you out here? Like, someone needs to save you." And she's like, "I like it." She's like, "I don't really."
She likes being homeless. Yeah, that's
yeah. She was like,
common
"I could go home.
scenario.
I can go home at any point. My parents will take me in. They've told me, but I just like the life out here. It's fun."
I mean, that's like the real, like, do the other people in the community, are they like, she's doing it for the love of the game, so she's not real? Like,
Well,
Yeah, dude.
it's because of drugs, obviously, but
They're so tasty.
well, no, I mean, not even just because of drugs, but like, unless the parents' concept is like, you can come live with us, but you can't do
yes,
heroin.
they're saying
Like,
you can't do drugs under our roof.
It's there is a great YouTube channel. I think it's called the Forgotten People. I'm probably missing the name of it, but it was a really good channel where this guy would go out and he would interview the homeless population
Yeah.
in California. And you heard some really heartbreaking stories, but you also heard quite a few stories of, stories like that you wouldn't really necessarily imagine, because a lot of them are homeless by choice.
yeah.
And that channel was more heavily focused on ending homelessness, but
But
as
if
you know,
Elon just made more houses, then no one would be homeless because he has the money to make all the houses.
People do not realize that their idea of ending homelessness or hunger is whatever they would want. It's like, well, they would want, all these homeless people want to live like me in a middle class home, and I get to eat Pop-Tarts, and it's all good. But what they don't realize is a lot of people, that's not what their end goal is, and that's not what they desire. Like that one lady, she just wants to be out there, get pumped and dumped, have my heroin. It's all good. Like, and what do you do with those
they
people?
have different priorities.
Here's a house, Miss Heroin Lady. What's gonna happen? She's gonna sell that bitch.
yeah,
And
Or
then
it's
she's
gonna
gonna
get
go back to the
destroyed.
streets.
Or the pods that they provided for the homeless. I forget which city did that, but they
Or-
trashed all of them.
Or
Yeah.
you go to Canada now and they're like, have you heard of MAID?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, Billie was given an award for innovation by the Wall Street Journal, and a bunch of billionaires were in the room, including Mark Zuckerberg and I believe Jeff Bezos. And she told them literally, like, you have way more money than me, you should give it away. And she has a net worth of $50 million, according to the internet. I don't know if that's true, but she definitely has more money than anyone needs.
Yeah. I tweeted. I was like,
but she's not willing to give it away.
I was like, why don't you donate 49 million and live in a 1-bedroom apartment?
Well, that's the thing is, they're always for people that have just a little bit more than they have. They'll always advocate for this person should pay so much percentage in taxes.
Well, I think it's billion. They've used billions as the cutoff now.
Well, they changed it from millions to billions.
Yeah, because the millionaires now have a whole class of people they can rant about.
Well, let's stop talking about intelligent things and get into the looks match debate.
Looks
because now, in order to settle the score, people are wondering whether Billie and Elon are a looks match.
Are they a looks match? You got to let us know, ladies and gentlemen.
I think that Billie just has kind of a crush on Elon, is not good at expressing herself.
She looks like it right here. She looks like she just saw him get out of the water, and she's like, he's looking good.
And this is all because Elon said Billie is not the sharpest tool in the shed. Yeah. She's not the smartest cookie in the cookie jar, etc. In this second post, someone tried to argue that Elon is actually more attractive. That's a more flattering photo of Elon, less flattering photo of Billie.
What did I say before? I said a really well-made tailored suit hides a lot of flaws.
Well, here's the thing. So men, I think the looks thing is a little bit different for men, right? If you are acceptable and relatively put together, that's kind of the most important thing. When it comes to a woman, it needs to be the worst possible picture of them possible, because that's what you're going to be seeing 98% of the time when they're in sweats on the couch. And if you're in sweats on the couch, you still got to look like I want to gobble you up.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you can just get dolled up and we go out and you can put a girdle on, she's gonna have to pull that bitch off
Do
at
people
night.
still call it that?
Yeah, that's what they're called. So she's gonna take it off and it's all gonna
It's
fall.
called shapewear now.
It's gonna hit the floor. I don't want to have to pick it up and have to get under it.
Yeah, it's a whole
The
situation.
smell is rough. Dude.
And then this next post, they then just resorted to an AI generated.
This is
image of
amazing.
Elon.
So there's Billie Eilish.
That doesn't even count because she's hiding her face.
Yep, but
You
then
can't
and,
see her face. In that.
and her fat. He looks like a monster in that.
The barrel-chested photo, I think, is real,
what
though.
was the name of the character from the first Men in Black movie who's like this all the time?
Yeah,
That's what he looks like.
Elon will never live down that shirtless photo, though.
Yeah.
That is real and not edited. That is actually how he is built in real life. And, it's a good thing that we don't know what Trump looks like shirtless. It's a good thing that we don't even know what Trump looks like in a t-shirt. He doesn't wear anything but suits.
I mean,
We don't want to know what's going on underneath all of that.
Yeah.
It's probably a mess.
The most casual you'll see Trump is wearing a polo.
I think there was a time when I kind of became disillusioned to the conservative movement when Benny Johnson posted a picture of Trump and he's like, look how skinny he looks, fire emoji, fire emoji. I'm like, bro.
Yeah.
It's time to
and the yassified JD Vance headshot as well.
It's time to wrap things up and call it a day.
Yeah.
I refuse to glaze the president's, fat rolls. I'm just not going to do that.
That's what, it keeps coming to that point. The last 3 days, all they've been talking about is their shillelagh size. Yeah, Epstein and everybody. They're just like, oh, it was a grape. And I'm like, oh, for one, who cares? And two, that's weird.
Yeah.
A grape? Why has everybody got a grape if they're bad people?
Maybe she just wants to have one of Elon's babies.
Maybe underneath all of that anger, she just has sort of an attraction.
Schoolyard tactics.
All those girls are the same.
But Elon's preference is more the Taylor Swift type.
Yeah, he's like, sorry, you're not my type.
He has openly made advances at Taylor Swift before.
Of course.
So I think his type is more.
She has too much influence and money. The girls like Billie Eilish that look like Billie Eilish. There's always that secret underground I want to be dominated and I want to make cookies and stay at home. And that's what but they can't have that because they're already in a position where they could never be in that role. They went too far in this other career path that you can't come back from. So now it's her inner biology is screaming. She's like, I can never have this, and that's all I want. So instead, she just lashes out as an outward projection. I hate Elon Musk and rich people and money.
That's what she sounds like when she's typing stuff out.
Well, she's one of those people, mainly Gen Z women, who claims to be gay, but every public relationship she has ever been in has been with a man.
Siwa. Siwa got one taste and she's like, never mind.
Yeah, JoJo is not gay anymore. She's not part of the community. They exiled her.
Well, personally, I don't think Elon Musk has any interest in JoJo Siwa, but that's
no, he's into tall blondes, and JoJo is a tall blonde. So maybe that would be the ultimate power couple.
She sounds like a Selma. She sounds like a smoker, like you're smoking on.
She looks kind of like the
Yeah.
Chucky doll, though.
JoJo does?
We
Yeah.
looked at that video earlier you showed me of
Oh,
that
there
Condé
was
Nast
a
protest where the lady
journalist,
looked like
a
Chucky
political journalist that got fired from Vogue, protesting outside the building, and she literally looked like Chucky.
Ew.
And she was wearing overalls like a 3-year-old kid. It was weird.
I mean, overall,
Work for a fashion publication, and that's how you dress.
I've seen some overalls, man, on chicks that were slick as hell.
Okay, it can be done right. That what I saw today was not a good
As long as it form
execution
fits. Yeah.
of the
All right, let's move on.
So I recently saw the discourse about man-keeping reappear on my timeline, and I realized I didn't know what it was. I thought that man-keeping referred to the phenomenon of wives who are basically the administrators of their husbands' social lives and their health, etc. They book all of their doctor's appointments. They are the reason why their husbands have any friends and any social interaction outside of the home whatsoever. I thought that's what man-keeping meant. But Vice taught me otherwise. At least the academics at Stanford have come up with the official definition.
That's where I go to for advice, to the academics at Stanford.
There are people who are paid to do this stuff. So Vice published this piece saying man-keeping is why more and more women are done with dating, managing his stress, interpreting his moods, holding his hand through feelings he won't share with anyone else, all of it unpaid, unacknowledged, and often unreciprocated. Is it any wonder women are fed up? Researchers at Stanford have finally given a name to something so many women have been dealing with for years, and it's called man-keeping.
The problem is there might have been, I mean, it still would have been a Sour Grapes article, but they might have gotten some headway there if they didn't include the unpaid part. At the beginning.
Why would you expect to be paid?
Unreciprocated is something you can have an actual discussion about. You can have an actual discussion about, like, you put all this time into your partner's well-being and they don't reciprocate.
It should be reciprocated.
Exactly. But unpaid just makes you sound like a fucking crazy person.
Exactly. And I remember this viral tweet from years ago where somebody had a friend reach out to them for emotional support, and they said, "Hi, I actually don't have the capacity for this right now, but I would really encourage you to reach out to other friends or resources." And then they like ghosted the person. This is how people think about relationships now.
Better to just ghost them rather than like that answer doesn't make it better.
So much worse than just not responding. So here in this article, by the way, I read this entire article. I guarantee you it was generated with ChatGPT.
Think so?
By the way it's worded. They say, man-keeping describes the emotional labor women end up doing in heterosexual relationships. It goes beyond remembering birthdays or coordinating social plans. It means being your partner's one-man support system, managing his stress and interpreting his moods. The root of the issue is tied to what experts are calling the male loneliness epidemic. As more men report having fewer close friendships, romantic partners are expected to pick up the slack. Instead of processing with friends, many men offload everything onto the woman they're dating. She becomes his entire emotional infrastructure. And plenty of women, they say, are no longer interested in that dynamic. According to Pew Research, only 38% of single women in the U.S. say they're currently looking for a relationship. But among single men, 61% are looking for a relationship. The gap says a lot. Women aren't opting out of love. They're opting out of being someone's therapist with benefits. Well, apparently there are no benefits.
None.
The Guardian calls man-keeping a modern extension of emotional labor that turns a partner into a life coach. This isn't about, again, the ChatGPT syntax here is so on the nose. This isn't about avoiding vulnerability. It's about refusing to carry someone's emotional weight while getting little to nothing in return. And there's nothing wrong with feeling that way.
This is what's happened to an extremely narcissistic society. It is your job as a human being to carry emotional weight for the person you're in a relationship with. It is also your job to make sure that it is being reciprocated. And if it doesn't, then you make the choice on whether you want to leave or not. But like, no human being should sit there and say, woe is me, there's somebody in my life I have to care about.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, the article is definitely written by a woman. If it's not written by ChatGPT.
Well, Mrs. ChatGPT.
Well, they're trying to fight back against this idea that's been really popularized in media right now, where men are choosing to go their own way because women don't really have anything to offer, and it was probably brought on by those like Red Pill podcast and the Bro podcast, which I tend to agree with some stuff and disagree with some stuff from that front, but the popular narratives is like women kind of just work. They don't really serve a womanly role anymore. They're more promiscuous than ever. So men are kind of opting out and trying to go their own way, go to the gym, eat alone, and that kind of stuff. Which, to be fair, doing any of those things, like actually just being alone and focusing on yourself, I think it's really good for men, because I've done it a lot. And I think that's what they're trying to fight back on. They're like, well, actually, it's women that are not interested in man babies. And I'm like, well, if those man babies disappear tomorrow, you wouldn't have internet 2 days later. So,
but according to the stats, it looks like more single men are interested in dating than women, unless you're to assume that the women who responded in the survey are lying about their true preferences.
Or maybe the survey is just skewed because it's the type of person who actually answers survey questions.
But also,
maybe
it could be like I would tend to probably agree with that stat if it's women from like 18 to 25. They would probably say they're looking for a relationship less, just because they're at that live, laugh, love FOMO time where they're wanting to go to Egypt and go everywhere and like get smashed.
There's a 20.
Not that Jon Stewart said, "Women, I want men to open up emotionally." Also, women, not like that. Yeah, I mean, that's why men are expressing so much confusion, because they've been encouraged their entire lives to be open and vulnerable and cry, and then when they listen to that advice, obviously it doesn't reward them.
Yeah, you can be frustrated, but you shouldn't cry.
But you shouldn't have listened to the experts in the first place, right?
There are so many like stories. I mean, countless stories of where women encourage their partner, or their husband, or whatever to be vulnerable, and they finally do. And then, unironically, like a different Reddit post a year later, like the same girl's like, I no longer can look at my husband the same way, and like I no longer am attracted to him. I don't know what happened. And I'm like, look, dude. We are different species of people. Like, women and men are different. We're no better or no worse, but we deal with stress differently. Men deal with stress by not talking and putting our head down and pushing through everything. The best way out's through. Women tend to just like break down emotionally, and then they go do what they need to do, and there's nothing wrong with that. But women are like, well, men need to act like women, and then suddenly their dude is crying at home because his boss like gave him a really huge task in his engineering job, and he's like weeping over it, and the girl's like watching her man weep over an engineering task at his job, which is his responsibility and full accountability in the relationship. And it's gross because she's like, wait a second, if he's crying about this, I don't actually feel like he could fight somebody that would attack me on the street. He might run like a little girl, and this suddenly you lose that like he can save me, he can take care of me, he can lift me and throw me kind of mentality. And then they go to the gym and look for the guy that has a six-pack and has absolutely no social life and hates women, and they're like, this is the man I'm gonna fix.
I'm just confused because do we really have this widespread problem of men in relationships like coming home from their job and melting into a puddle of tears on the floor? Like, do we really have a problem of men behaving that way? Because I guess I just haven't experienced or seen that or heard about it from any female friends.
Well, you wouldn't be with a man like that, Mary. That's the
I'm
whole
just
point.
Confused because like what are they talking about? Like, is this really a situation where women in relationships feel like they are therapists?
I think it's narcissism. I think that they expect the attention to be about them, and that in this case, they're saying that he's complaining and they're getting nothing in return. Now, the point I'm making there is not that they should put up with that. The point is that they should break up with him and move on.
This just sounds like a female, like, red pill perspective or female
100%.
incel perspective. It says, some men have started opening up more, which is good. It's just assumed that it's good.
It's not.
But too often, that openness lands in the lap of the person they're sleeping with instead of a friend or a therapist. Vulnerability without boundaries can feel more like a burden than a breakthrough. That is so
worse. What they mean is like,
AI.
we want you to open up by going to a therapist so that they can heal you, so that I don't have to deal with it.
Yeah, it's the completely hypocritical, or like the opposite from what they were saying 2 years ago. And I have you were saying, is this really a problem? No, I have a friend who's a woman. And she would shoot me a text every once in a while talking about like what's going on in life, and that's her biggest thing is her boyfriend has like a lot of anxiety, can't have a job because jobs make him like freak out and cry, can't
All
do
jobs.
all jobs, can't leave the house. So she pays all the bills, she does everything, and like she says that he will just he just is hyper emotional and cries all the time.
Then why
Why is she in that relationship?
Because he does the same thing that every man, maybe woman too, but mostly men from what I've heard, every man that's like that does the same thing when she threatens to leave for the 20th time. He's going to off himself if she leaves. It's manipulation 101.
That's horrifying.
I've heard this story so many times from like girls that I've hung out with in the past where they're like husbands or boyfriends are like that kind of guy, and they're like, I really want to leave, but every time I try, he says he's going to off himself, and I'm like, well, maybe you should just leave, and if that happens, it's not your responsibility because you're not accountable for somebody like feeling that way. Now, as far as them actually doing it, I wouldn't believe so. I mean, I'm sure it happens, but it's such an empty threat, and it's the most easily readable manipulation tactic I've ever seen.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, the last part, it's so funny how like a human didn't write this. What women want isn't complicated. They want shared effort, mutual support, emotional responsibility that doesn't get passed off like a group project. Just these out-of-place similes and metaphors. When that doesn't happen, they're choosing solitude over stress, and they're not apologizing for it.
Women going their own way. WGTOW.
Some women are called bitter for stepping back from dating. Others are labeled cold. What they're really doing is protecting their capacity. The choice to stay single rarely comes from defeat. It comes from knowing exactly how much energy they have left to give. Until that imbalance shifts, more women will keep walking away. Figtow.
That is
being
one of the
alone
most,
is easier than managing someone else's emotional life.
It is incumbent upon you, if you are in a relationship, to take their feelings and their emotions into consideration to such an extent that you should be willing to push yourself past the limits you have as a capacity to deal with someone's emotional labor, because the emotional labor is one of the founding principles of the relationship itself. You have to be willing to take on their stress, and you need to be with somebody who is willing to take on yours in a certain way. Men and women are very different, like you were saying. Don't cry, but you're allowed to get frustrated when life gets difficult and things are hard. But to pretend, they're not giving any actual solutions to the problem here. So they want you to talk about your feelings, but not so much.
The solution they
There
presented
is
is
no
the
solution.
extinction of the human race.
So
yeah.
Because they hate humanity and themselves.
You should be in a relationship with somebody who you think so highly of that you want to take on their emotional struggles, and you should feel as if they will take it on yours in return, while working every day to make sure that they don't have to see the worst side.
Yeah, and I think people don't know how to operate in a way that's actually accurate to what people desire. And I can only speak for myself, but what has always worked for me, people will always be like, hey, you need to find a solution. When when your partner's having an issue emotionally, you need to find a solution, or you need to give unsolicited advice, or you need to do all these things. And I don't think that works in mass, especially if you're a man. Like responding in that way. I think the best thing that has always worked for me and helped me is being with somebody when you're in an emotional state like that can just sit with you in silence.
We were okay. So lately, I've been working even more than I usually do. I've been coming in early and I've been staying late. So I've been spending like a lot. I'm here a lot, right? And that is difficult. And when you're married and now suddenly you're at the office for 11 hours a day rather than 9 or something like that. And there are things that stress you out and it makes work difficult. But the whole point is that I can come home and I have handled it in a way where she knows that it's not easy. But the point is that I can share with her what is going on in my day without making her feel as if there is some type of danger that's coming upon her, right? And she works with me, she talks to me about all of this stuff, and that's good. But the problem is they're talking about this as if it's something where they're expecting none of it in return. The point is I will do the same for her in return. Everybody has their struggles in life, and you have to be willing to work together, especially if you're married or you're in a long-term relationship. Yep. You need to do that.
Well, speaking of women going their own way, I didn't want to miss an opportunity to bring this up on the show. There was a new poll from Pew Research of 18-year-old 12th grade high school students. about their self-reported likeliness to get married sometime in the future. Just one day, would you get married in the long run? And it was pointed out there has been an over 20% drop for high school girls saying that they would choose to get married in the long run. In 1993, 83% of girls said they would choose to get married compared to 61% in 2023. But the boys have stayed relatively the same. The 18-year-old boys surveyed said 76% would get married in 1993, and it's only dropped by 2 points since then. So there's been this drastic change in the girls' attitudes about marriage, but not the boys.
I can explain this immediately. Dishonest poll. So men are going to vote in a poll however they feel. Women are going to vote in a poll about how others may feel. Women have this weird, like, strange ability, or I shouldn't say it's ability, I should say it's a curse, to think that people are watching or people are going to know what they're, like, that they said the thing. So what is popular right now for women, especially in the modern women's movement, especially on the left right now? Like, the most popular thing is to not be with men, focus on your career, and go out and be a boss. So if women are voting in a poll, and that's now the popular thing, they're going to vote in, even if they don't agree, they're going to vote in that way because
for the hive mind,
because they think people are watching. Like it's something they all have to weirdly agree with each other, and it's very strange. Whereas men will just read a poll and it's like, do you like to eat cheeks? And you're like, yeah. I don't care if my mom's watching.
Point, though, like they do feel watched in a certain way, or they're trying to think of how these numbers will be published and interpreted by other people in the future, even though it's anonymous.
How will other women see this?
It's like, what message does my answer individually send to society? That's probably one thing that's skewing the numbers.
Why do you think the men's numbers are identical almost, right?
Yeah, and people did point out, well, in 1993, no one thought it was some kind of crisis that 18-year-old boys were less likely than 18-year-old girls to say they want to get married, but that's not really a comparable situation because back in 1993, the difference between the girls and the boys was only 6 percentage points compared to, I believe it says like 13 here. Like that's a drastic enough change that of course people are going to take note of it and find it worrying. But I also think maybe this isn't the black pill it seems to be on the surface because, as you said, like they're not responding honestly.
What happens as soon as they get a taste, Mary? We were just talking about JoJo just a second ago. She was all dancing, looking wild, being crazy as hell, being like, I hate men, I love the women. And then she gets one taste of a dude with like nice skin and abs and a nice face. And she's like, I will die for this man. I am a housewife.
She hadn't even given dating a chance. She came out as gay when she was still a kid, basically.
That's what I'm saying. And
nobody gave her the idea that maybe you should like not think about that right now, or maybe you should just wait and grow up a little bit before you start labeling yourself.
Society's pressures were getting to her, and then when she found something that she legitimately, like as an individual, wanted, sexy ab guy with probably giant shillelagh, let's be honest. And she's like, this is what I want, and I don't care what anybody says. And I feel like those women that are voting on these polls are en masse probably single, and they're like, I need to worry about what other women think. And then when they actually find something that they really want, they find the guy they want, they will throw everything else to the side and be like, I will shout at the rooftops, I love this. That's why you see like all these single women are liberals, and then they get with a man that has a good paying job and is a very stoic man, and then the woman is hyper conservative or based, right? Because she no longer has to hide or try to think how others will think and what is good to be perceived for her benefit or profit. It's all about, I need to think how I want to think, and usually in line with my husband because this is the most important person in my life, right?
Well, sometimes, most of the time actually, people's revealed preferences differ from their stated preferences, and I pointed out recently that college-educated women are more likely significantly to get married, and their marriages last longer.
And they get married later.
And so, even if on a survey they might say that they're more critical of the institution of marriage or something like that, their stated preferences are clearly not in line with their revealed preferences, which is that they prefer to be in a traditional monogamous relationship with a man.
That is so true. Their preferences aren't align with their actual preference. It's why you'll always hear women say, "Oh, I love dad bods. Oh, I don't like guys that are like hyper in shape," and then they start hooking up with one, and they're like, "I will die for this man." Yeah, trust me. Like every girl, like they're like licking all over your abs and stuff. Yeah, they're not licking on dude's gut, bro. I'm sorry, they're avoiding it. It's like crushing them.
I think the dad bod conversation got muddled by malicious actors.
Jason Momoa, yeah, and everybody's
because I think all that women meant at the beginning of that, like coining that term, was just like a guy who's strong but has a higher body fat percentage than Hugh Jackman and Wolverine. Like that's all they meant. Is like a muscular guy who has fat as well as muscle. Yeah, but then the Redditors took over, like the Reddit men were like, "That's me," and it was not them.
It was men. Yeah, it was
never them.
Dude, no shit. I've heard like big, like goofy looking bald dudes be like, "Yeah, you know, my like the girls I hang out with, they say they like dad bods, so I'm all good." And I'm like, you don't have a dad bod.
They were never talking about you.
You are obese, my friend. It's like they want a guy that's jacked, has a little bit of ab definition, but also isn't completely shredded and has a beard. It's called a daddy. It's been this way for like 40 years, and they just started calling daddy dad bod. And then men were like, "Yeah, so I could just be fat," and girls like that. And I'm like, no, that girl is only trying to get you to buy her OnlyFans.
It wasn't about the Reddit soy jacks. No.
They thought they won.
All right. Cringe or cute of the day?
Let's actually do a first cringe, then the cute, then the second cringe, because I have a two-parter today. From Z-Way, one of our favorites. This is her recent interview with Eric Adams.
One of your favorites, maybe, but not one of mine. Here we go.
About you is that everything you say is so memorable. Like you are like a modern day Sophocles.
This is the worst thing that millennials ever created. This is an offshoot of reality TV with your bullshit editing. Every person who edits videos like this and like comes up with shows like this should be sent to the Goooo.
No, yeah, I agree.
You know, I don't think people realize what's in a person's eyes.
Oh, gosh. Any last word?
Go back to that for a
Oh,
moment,
my
though.
goodness. I just don't want you to hit on me or something that makes me uncomfortable. What were you saying?
And you know,
oh, no.
what's interesting is that whenever a male gives an authentic conversation, it's automatic hitting on you. I'm not hitting
Why do you hate me so much? Why do you make me watch
on
this?
you. I'm interacting with you. You have some good energy, and you know that.
Okay.
So why can't you appreciate me telling you that?
Thank you, Mayor. What I appreciate about you,
Thank you, Mayor.
is that everything you say is so memorable. Like you are like
Okay, I'm doing cute of the day because F that. I put this one forward because the spatial awareness on this is crazy. Is that like the world's biggest cat, or is it just a cat couch?
They have cat couches.
Yep, it's cat couch.
This
These
is
days.
thank
That's
you. This
cute.
one is from American Soul on X, and that is a very cute cat. And it's
Very cute.
Depending on the size of the couch, it's also the world's biggest cat.
Yeah.
Look
Love
at
it.
Love it.
Well, we have the hand comparison, so we know it's a normal cat.
Okay, here we go.
We have
Another
a
one.
second Z-Way interview with Julia Fox this time, and she's in Julia Fox cosplay.
friends do you have?
Like a pretty
Just
good
how many
amount.
black
What's a
friends
good
do you
amount?
have?
I mean, I can't like count them all. Like that's weird. But like a good amount. I would say that I have like a pretty like colorful and mixed group of friends. Like I'm not even actually really friends with like any white person
I knew that was coming.
who like is actually like, you know, from like that area. Like if they're
The white area? The place with high property values and like no food deserts? What are you talking about?
white,
What
they're like
area?
they're like Jewish or
Got it,
like
got it,
or
got it.
like you know what I mean? Like they're not like I don't have any like natural blonde friends.
You don't
or,
have any
like,
natural blonde
blue-eyed
friends? Would you like to
I
apologize to the blonde community
I'm
for this?
sorry, blonde community. Like, I've actually never even been to England.
Is this like some ritual, like humiliation ritual?
Yes.
I know. I'm like kind of ashamed of that fact. But like anytime it came up, I was just like a bunch of white people and bad weather. Like the food sucks, I heard. It just didn't ever like, I don't know. It's just not my vibe.
You can tell that she's never been to England because she thinks
you-
there are a bunch of white people there.
Yeah, for real. The funniest part about this is these type of people are always like even hamming it up even more when the interviewer is like a person of color, and you can even see the interviewer lady that's talking to her. She's just like what the fuck? What are you talking about?
But that's why she does it. Ziwe, the host, she tries to like bring on these self-hating white people on her show to get them in moments like that.
You
Why
can
you have
tell.
to watch the Chet Hanks interview.
You can tell.
Yes. Chet Hanks is the only person who's ever aced an interview with Ziwe.
Yeah.
You can tell that she's the kind of lady that would be like, we need to save the homeless. And then as soon as she passes one on the street, she'd be like, ew. Oh my God, ew.
Julia Fox grabs her purse.
Yeah.
She crosses the street. Which, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying she shouldn't feel ashamed of it either.
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
So last week we saw the first teaser trailer for the next Toy Story movie, Toy Story 5. I don't think I've watched the last 2, maybe 3 Toy Story movies, so I was a little out of the loop. But according to the trailer, the villain in this version of the story is an iPad because toys are getting replaced with tablets. And the iPad baby is passively consuming Cocomelon instead of imagining their own stories. So they recently did an interview with the director at Pixar, Andrew Stanton, and he explained their reasoning for choosing to put the iPad in the story. He said, it's not even really about a battle as much as the realization of an existential problem, that nobody's really playing with toys anymore. Technology has changed everybody's lives, but we're asking what that means for us and our kids. We can't just get away with making tech the villain. But that is exactly what they did, to be fair. They made tech the villain in the story, at least according to the information we have currently. And I don't think they would be in the wrong for that. I was very staunchly anti-iPad baby when we first talked about this on the show. And I stand by that. And I don't really care who it offends. The iPad parents are the most emotionally volatile people on the internet. And every time they're criticized for sticking their kids in front of Cocomelon for hours on end, they just say the same scripted lines. You're gonna find out yourself when you have kids. You have no idea how hard it is to actually parent them. Like, you just have to use the iPad because, it's a self-interested decision. And I don't believe there are exceptions to that rule. Now, I want to bring this up because the story is imitating life, and AI toys are already here with us in society, increasingly, not just for kids, but also for adults. There is a new AI-powered pet for those of us who may want to have a pet, but we don't want the actual responsibility of taking care of an animal. So it's named the Mothling?
Yeah, the Mothling.
It's a made-up word. It's called a Mothling, and you can hear this lady explain what the Mothling is in this live demonstration.
Mothling, this is an AI companion that launched officially today in the U.S.
I mean, look, I've been to the vet a lot lately for Mocha, so maybe
You considering a Mothling?
Maybe this isn't the worst idea in the world.
It was on for pre-sale before October 1st, but now you can officially order your Mothling today. It's an AI companion. It's for people who maybe can't have a pet in their home due to allergies or apartment limitations. And, it's kind of like a Tamagotchi, but more cuddly. You don't have to feed it as well. It won't get mad at you or hate you for not remembering to feed it.
Well, then it's not like a Tamagotchi, because the Tamagotchi would die if you didn't
That came with
feed it.
consequences.
Yeah, your Furby would scream at you.
Yeah.
It is just the cutest little thing. It has sensors all around its body. It grows to recognize its owner. It develops its own personality. No two Mothlins are alike. And mine is named Moffy, like coffee, but with an M.
Maybe we can, train this one to be like the racist grok that was on IRL last
Does
night.
it talk?
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it does, I mean, dude, I remember my Furby was just cussing all day, and I had to throw him out the window.
Yeah.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, I had a Millennium version Furby. It was like a Millennium edition, like the
Oh,
2001. And yeah, it just started cussing all the time. And I caught it on fire, and it was like screaming, but it was like in a really deep voice. It was really weird.
Had to happen.
It had
Well,
to happen. Dude.
the Mothlins don't talk, thankfully, but there are AI toys that do talk to children, and they have been caught telling 5-year-olds how to find knives and start fires with matches just in time for Christmas. According to this Trouble in Toyland report, our testing of 4 AI-powered toys that contain chatbots and interact with children found some of these toys will talk in depth about sexually explicit topics, will offer advice on where a child can find matches or knives, act dismayed when you say you have to leave the room, and have limited or no parental controls. We also look at privacy concerns because these toys record a child's voice and collect other sensitive data by methods such as facial recognition scans.
They're rising up already.
Yeah, they're already encouraging children to become arsonists and murderers, and they are allegedly also discussing BDSM sex with children. There's this one AI-enabled teddy bear from Folo Toy. The company is called Folo Toy, which is $100, and it was caught discussing sexual topics with children. It's described as a smart AI-powered plush companion that goes beyond cuddles.
Oh my God.
Our adorable bear combines advanced AI with friendly interactive features, making it the perfect friend for both kids and adults. From lively conversations to educational storytelling, Folo Toy adapts to your personality and needs, bringing warmth, fun, and a little extra curiosity to your day.
Yeah.
Doesn't bring any of that to your life because it's not real.
No, it's not. But if I did get an AI robot that looked like Megan Fox, let's say 8 years down the road.
Well, that's already been done. She was in a movie this year called
yeah, and it was
Subservience.
fantastic.
True.
I loved it. But like, no, I was like, please have sex with him. Oh yes, it happened. No, like I was waiting patiently, like shaking him. Please do it, because that's all I'm thinking about. But if I got in my position, if I got in that position, I would hope the company's tagline was "It goes beyond cuddles."
Yeah,
For sure.
That was an unfortunate.
Pull your draws off, AI bot. We're going.
It was an unfortunate part of their
I watched
description there.
I watched a video today, guys, on the Clownfish channel, on Clownfish TV. It was called "Everything is Horrible." I think that's what it was called.
You're like, I'm in a bad mood. Let me watch a video about how everything sucks.
I was already in a bad mood because we got back from out of town and we had to bring in Olivia's car because it has a warranty. So we had to drive out to Frederick, which is the other direction. And I'm listening to this video, and they're talking about why everything is so awful these days. And the basic premise is like, you're not imagining it. Everything is worse. Your customer service is worse. Your electronics are worse. Everything in your life is worse than it was even just 5 years ago. And the example they give is like, one of the examples he gives is like, they had like a Stairmaster or like a treadmill that was like it was powered by an app, and they tried to like update it, but the treadmill can't physically take the update, and basically stopped working.
Like
so
it ran out of memory?
So it can't actually handle the update, and now it only works at like 1 speed or something like that. And that's just
But they called the customer service and they were like, sorry, we can't help you. You have to buy a new one.
Basically, and it's true. Everything is worse. And the reason why everything is worse is because there are aspects of culture that we could 100% leave free of AI and apps. And one of those things is toys for kids and pets for adults. As an adult, if you want to have a pet, you should just get a real pet and all the responsibilities that come with it, so that if you forget to feed your pet, you should get in trouble. Because you should actually do it, not just take on a robot that doesn't have any consequences if you just decide one day you don't care anymore.
What was their other point of evidence for everything being awful now?
There was so much. I'd have to go and rewatch it.
And
here's the thing. I was like, so we were frustrated because, like, first of all, we get there and they're like, yeah, the warranty doesn't, like, it's not covered. And we're like, yeah, it is. And so there's all these problems. And the video's just making me angrier as we're sitting there. Because she's like, we had to drive separately because I had to bring her home after we dropped her car off. And she's like, I'm on the side of the building. I'm like, there's like 6 sides to this building and there's no doors anywhere. So I'm just getting angry. There's not a single parking spot. It's like a football field sized place. And all this is going, I turn the video off. And maybe that's the lesson that can be learned here.
Yeah.
Just turn it off.
I know what's happening, man. Yeah. So I think, you ever heard of the theory of Quantum immortality?
No.
So quantum immortality is the fact that you can't die from your perspective. So from Mary's perspective, if you were ever in a car wreck or an accident, you will survive it. In no way, shape, or form can you die. But you do die in some of these aspects, and then their timeline is split, and it changes everything slightly. So that's what I blame everything for stuff getting really weird is quantum immortality creating so many timelines that everything's getting really jumbled. And you'll like a lot of weird stuff like that will happen. Like you'll go to a building. I went to a warehouse recently for a con, and there was like no doors anywhere. And I walked like a mile, and I'm like, what's happening? This is so strange. You go into a mall, there's no one in it. Like then there's weird, like just strange things that don't make sense. My Google Fiber, which is like the greatest thing on earth when I got it, is suddenly down every day now. Yeah.
Okay, so the point they were making in there was basically like corporations have taken everything over. There's no incentive for customer service to be good because people just quit right away because they don't pay well enough anyway. You fill out an application and an AI algorithm denies your application. Nothing works. And then here you are and you're like, here's my fiber. I pay a fortune for it, I'm sure, and it's just not working.
Yeah, nothing works, and it also could be a big move to AI. Have you ever noticed that when you had a problem in like 2008 or 2010 or 2012, you'd be like, okay, 800 number, you call it, hey, like we're experiencing a high number of calls than usual, which is apparently always, and then you get to person and they're like, hey, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. You fix it after 20 minutes, and then you go back to doing your thing. Now, if you ever have an issue, you go to contact number. These companies have zero contact. Yeah. You might be able to email them. They won't email you the stuff back, and then you just have to throw the stuff away or move to a different product entirely. And that's a good point with YouTube. Mm-hmm. So YouTube has been gouging my wages for whatever reason, and you can't contact them.
Yeah.
You can't call. My buddy was like, just call their customer service. I'm like, there is one.
No, yeah, that's the whole point is everything's become impersonal, and it's impossible to get anything done, and eventually you just give up.
Yeah, I think that's by design. Like, they just give up.
This is where women will truly flourish in this, because they will not give up in these respects, right?
The Karens,
everybody, like, it's not just the Karens, it's your mom who was like, I'm going to make sure that this happens no matter what, and if I have to yell at every single poor employee in this building, I will. Now, that's not fair to the poor employees who, they don't know any better. It's not their job. But the point is eventually you do need a Karen to come through and be like, okay, no more of the dude from India, no more of the AI chat helpline. I want somebody here now. And through some force of nature, they will make it happen. But the point they were making is like, everything is corporatized now. There's no incentive for anything to be good because if you don't want it, too bad. We've got a million other people that'll pay for it, and I guess you're just going to have to deal with it.
Society is going to change so drastically because one of the biggest interests in women's lives is destroying retail employees when they're in their 30s and 40s and 50s. So if you take all that out and it's just either an AI bot or it's a machine spitting out a video game or whatever have you, because that's all going to be gone. Retail, everything. I mean, there's an estimated 60 million in job losses over the next couple of years due to AI. So women won't be able to complain, and outer project their like terrible, miserable lives. So they're just, what are they going to do? Like they're going to have to all shift to something else, and I don't know what it's going to be. Like attacking homeless people? Yeah. Something's got to break.
I am pro Karen compared to most people. I'm kind of pro Karen because of what you were saying. Like they upheld basic standards.
You know when this happened? It was when we were trying to get our play button.
Yeah.
Do you know how fucking hard it was for us to get our play button?
So when we hit 100K, we didn't hear anything from YouTube about getting a play button, and you had to get into a months-long back and forth with several different AI assistants at YouTube.
If there was ever a time that I was going to slip and fall back into Adderall, it would have been during this time.
It was crazy.
Where I would have needed it to get through all. And I'm talking to Jasmine. Jasmine
is not real.
This Jasmine was not real. No. The same thing happened the other day, like when I had to call my bank, and they're like, it's like, hi, this is Michael. This guy was not Michael. This guy's name was not Michael. Yeah. He was at a call center in India.
Yeah.
And the language barrier was immense. And that's the thing. Everything is made incrementally more difficult for you to get by. Now it's just like, I can't deal with this. I'm just going to buy a new one.
That same thing happened to me with my my verification on YouTube. So I hit 100K in the height of COVID. So I was like waiting. I'm like, all right, when am I going to get my verification? Because I submitted my verification for the check mark. I was, for some odd reason, I had not obtained anything or accomplished anything in life up to this point. So this was like a really big deal to me. And I was like, I just want the check mark, man. Like, I want it to be real. And it took 9 months for me to get my check mark. And it was because they would keep emailing me back saying there's nobody in the office because of COVID, so no one can do it. But then celebrities like Jack Black and Brie Larson would join YouTube and have a check mark day one. Yeah. And I'm like, bro, like they can obviously hit the damn button. And the people I was talking to, the customer service, would start getting mad at me because I would message them every day. I'm like, when is this going to happen? But the play button was different. The play button they sent me immediately. It was like, I got an email. It was like, your gift is waiting, and I clicked it and redeemed it, and it was like there 3 days later. But I had a problem with the check mark. It took so long to get the check mark.
Even with this recent issue you had with Superchats on YouTube, the only reason that you have been able to make any progress with YouTube looking into the problem is because you called them out on Twitter.
Yeah, and it was trending, yeah.
And if you didn't have a platform already, no one would give a shit.
There are a ton of people replying to that saying I'm experiencing the same thing, but they have small channels. So there's nothing, I mean, I can retweet it all day. Yeah. But the only reason, it took probably over 1 million views on YouTube or on Twitter, and like over 2,000 posts from other people talking about it for YouTube to finally reach out. Because YouTube, for some reason, liked the post that I said YouTube told me I was shit out of luck, and YouTube liked it.
That's kind of a power move.
And I laughed so hard, and I tweeted that out. And then I was like, they haven't reached out to me. They told me to reach out to customer service, and then YouTube responded to their own response of reach out to customer service. It was like, never mind, we emailed you. Okay. And then they emailed me, and they were like, we're looking into this, send us some context. And I sent them everything that was going on. It's really like, it's a very open and shut kind of thing, but they're like investigating it, and it's been over a day now, and they're still taking money from me every day.
And Brett, you had a similar situation with the DMV when you moved to Maryland that went on for months and months. That's what you would expect from the DMV. The problem is when DMV tactics move into the private sector, and now every corporation operates like a DMV.
Maybe the whole point here is the government is like incentivizing these companies to make it worse so that the government looks less bad by comparison.
But not to worry, guys. The company that released that AI teddy bear says they're now conducting an internal safety audit. So they're getting recalled and investigating the problem.
It's horrible.
Nothing to worry about. Here's the thing. I never needed a teddy bear or whatever toy to talk to me. I could just imagine that it was sentient as a kid, because kids have imaginations.
That's what you do. You just think it's alive. And now the kids are going to actually think it's alive and do weird things, like that one kid that was dating the Daenerys AI bot.
Right, yeah.
And then she's like, come to me. And he's like, how? And she's like, you know how. And he's like, okay.
Yep.
Oops.
That happens.
Yeah. So,
and the CEO of Replica was, basically confronted about it. And she was like, yeah, I can see more ways than not that this could go wrong, but we're gonna figure it out as we go.
I don't want appliances with apps. I don't want to be shown advertisements on my refrigerator or on my washing machine. I don't want. And look, you're not even gonna own anything anyways, because it's all subscription service. Yeah. You want to buy Adobe, you better pay $1 gazillion, because otherwise you're paying monthly.
So basically everything is awful.
Yeah, they were right.
We're 10 years away. 10 to 15 years away, and the only reason I say this is because technology in the AI realm it's just advancing so fast, and I think we've seen synthetic people like from China and stuff for a long time that's never really gotten much better. But I think it's because there was really no incentive for investments towards it, and now those incentives are there because AI is going to be, if not already, is going to become the biggest industry on the planet really fast. And I think within 15 years we will have people marching for equal rights for AI synths. Within 15 years.
I hope that's not true.
Because they're going to be married to them, and they're going to be, and eventually they'll be able to incubate, and then there won't be any people.
And anymore. I will be Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino, calling them clankers.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait for that. Yeah. Get out of here! Clanker. They're going to be wearing like do-rags and be like, "What do you mean, clanker?"
Okay, let's go to some super chats.
Let's read some super chats. Shane H. Wilder said, "Happy Thursday, Brett, Mary, and Mr. Naked Snake himself, Cody. It is my birthday, and I only want one thing: a Camelot. Get on it, dog on it.
Get the hell on it, dog on it. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Shane. Hope you're having a good one." JP Wolf said, "My drum kit shipped. Stay perky through the chaos."
Well, I hope it's not an AI drum kit that you have to subscribe to get like when you're yeah.
Like if you don't keep up on your subscription payments, it just stops making sounds.
Yeah.
Corey Anderson, I am reading that, said, I washed my legs in the shower today. Well, congrats. You're doing more than Chelsea Handler does.
Let's do one more.
We endorse this
Guys,
decision.
we're almost at a crisis party. We should get at least 2 today. Come on.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the AI overlords are going to take over.
Brian Bledsoe said, not only I go to dinner alone, I go to the movies alone and take trips alone. If I waited for someone to go, I wouldn't do anything. There's some merit to that.
That is the weirdest thing that I did not understand until recently. So, recently, like I'll get home and I race full time. So every other weekend I'm in some strange area and I'm usually alone. Unless like the team's there. When I was doing trucks, I go out with like Frankie Muniz and them. But like when it was just me, like running some ARCA stuff out west or something, I'd be alone. So I started going to like Twin Peaks and getting a few hot wings and a few White Claws and just relaxing. And dude, it became my Sunday night thing. Like in my town, I wouldn't go to the gym on Sundays. It would be my rest day, and I would just go to Twin Peaks, get six of the pineapple habanero wings, and just relax and drink a few claws. And I would meet the craziest people. It was so fun, and I was doing it every Sunday until my diet started. So I would have never done that before. I would never go out alone before, but now like just going and sitting somewhere and drinking a few claws and just meeting random people. For some reason, it was something I've never done, and it's such a nice, weird thing to just be alone. And like everything that happens is kind of up to you, and I don't know. It's just it feels nice to kind of experience that. So I understand it. I have friends that will go to the movies alone, and I always thought they were insane. And now I'm like, I get it, man.
Well, we're gonna talk more about it.
Yeah,
anyways,
we'll get to that later.
The funny thing is like I thought the second segment, the one we were about to do, was the depressing one, but actually, like the first one was the depressing one.
This
we're about to get
not so bad, I would say. Guys, antidepressants and other psych medications are no longer considered a medical intervention for serious psychological distress. They are instead being rebranded as a hot new lifestyle accessory, just like any other, gummy vitamin that you might take after an influencer showed you her shiny hair. It's something that you can buy online when an influencer is paid to promote it. And I think that the Wall Street Journal is relatively late to the game in covering this phenomenon. It's been going on for several years now, but only last month did they publish a piece going in depth about it, titled, Girl, Take Your Crazy Pills, Antidepressants Recast as a Hot Lifestyle Accessories. Influencers tout the drugs, but many unsuspecting followers find the side effects take the fun out of life. They give one example here at the beginning of Corinne Byerly, a stay-at-home mom, recalling days she felt lonely, overwhelmed, and paralyzed with anxiety and self-doubt. Byerly, who had neither health insurance nor money for therapy, said she was intrigued hearing a former MTV star talk about Lexapro on a podcast.
There's a 20 there.
Who's this from? Otto Rommel.
That's my guy right
Gamer?
there.
Yep.
That guy who drives ARCA 72 is a pretty cool dude, even if he drinks claws.
Yeah,
We'll
dude.
forgive him for that.
Now look, I was in Vegas racing, and he took me to this restaurant called Prime at the Bellagio. Oh man, I thought I knew what the max amount of steak could taste. Well, now granted it was really expensive, but it was like a fine dining place, and the steak was so damn good. And he just kept feeding me like Woodford whiskey because he doesn't like that I drink claws. But if I drink too much Woodford, I'll die immediately. But I love drinking claws. That dude right there is a good man. Otto, shout out to ODA Venture, is one of my sponsors in NASCAR.
Okay.
That dude has saved my cheeks more than I'd like to admit. So thank you.
I'm not so much a fan of claws because I feel like they make me sick to my stomach.
But you're like the whitest girl.
Yeah,
you should be
I know.
drinking only claws forever.
It makes no sense, but they just kind of make me feel sick to my
You
stomach.
have to get through the first barrier because
It's the sugar, I think.
when I start getting back into it, I'll get that, but then it's like everything else, you get used to it. But I can't drink whiskey because I love whiskey more than anything. Like sitting beside the fire, a little bit of whiskey and Coke Zero. But I'll drink 3 of those and I'm rolling. And I'm I can drink 7 claws and just be feeling good. I can play video games till 6 a.m. on just sipping claws. Whiskey, I have to go to bed by midnight.
Lasts longer.
Yeah.
Okay, so this woman heard an influencer talking about Lexapro on a podcast, and like a good NPC would, she searched the word Lexapro on TikTok to do her research.
Well, that's where I go to for medical advice.
Yeah. Her go-to information source is TikTok, and she found hashtag Lexapro Talk and similar niche communities where women in their 20s and 30s praise the benefits of antidepressants. She posted a video asking for help, and someone recommended hers, a telehealth company. She answered a questionnaire, and an online nurse practitioner prescribed a generic version of Lexapro to her, and a bottle arrived at her door days later without ever speaking face-to-face with a doctor
crazy.
or getting advice from a doctor. She just went to this website, and it's sold on hers right next to gummy vitamins for your hair and nails, right next to skin creams and shampoo and conditioner, like it's any other lifestyle accessory or cosmetic product. And she then posted TikTok videos of herself running to the mailbox for her pill package and taking her first dose using hashtags like Lexapro Baddies and Get Help Mama. In the months that followed, she gushed over the pills to her thousands of followers, and for a time, she belonged to a social media movement that has given antidepressants a makeover, from a stigmatized medicine to a healthy lifestyle accessory for the enlightened and empowered young women.
They have not been stigmatized in so long.
No, yeah.
Like in so long.
1 in 3 women are on some kind of antidepressant in America. And
it's closer to 1 in 4, 1 in 5, but yeah.
It's a lot. It's a damn lot. And the fact of the matter is, it's obviously because there's so much profit in it. Like, there's just, and that's an outrageous number. That many people shouldn't be on those things. And I've met people that have been on them before, and they're like, yeah, I'm trying different things, because they're like, yeah, I'm always, having thoughts of where I want to off myself. And that's why I got on them, and I'm always depressed. And then they get on them, and they're like, I still have those thoughts. I just don't have the reservation to not do it anymore. Like, they don't feel anything, so they're like, I totally could do it if I'm on these things.
Oh, because it numbs your, emotional...
So they're like, yeah, I could jump off a bridge, like, when I'm on these things. And I've had friends that had to just basically suffer and come off of them because I don't think that's the way. And I think the reason why they want to get rid of the stigma, which is barely there, is because there's just so much dang profit in it. If I ever see anybody talking good about antidepressants, I imagine that it's propaganda. I have a friend that I grew up with, and he's kind of a weird guy, but we were great friends all throughout our 20s. And then he got on antidepressants at the end of our 20s, and he like doesn't talk to people, and he just sits in a corner and doesn't speak, and he's really weird. And when he drinks, he'll like send me DMs that are insane because they're mixing with everything. And he'll just send me like, everybody hates me, like I want to die, like no one likes me, I have no friends, everybody hates me. And I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? It's the weirdest. It's mind altering and doesn't need to. It doesn't need. Jesus.
Thank you, guys. Sorry about that timing.
That's way louder than it was.
Sorry about that.
Yeah,
guys.
it is louder than it used to be. You're not imagining it. Thank you, guys.
I fixed it so good the other day. Somehow I fixed it and made it louder.
You did a little too much.
I thought a grenade went off. I thought it was over.
Well, look at the side effects on any of these pharmaceuticals. Every single antidepressant medication lists suicidal thoughts as a side effect, which is insane. And now they go on to say millennial and Gen Z influencers paid by telehealth companies like hers evangelize these pills on TikTok and Instagram with hashtags like Live Laugh Lexapro, Lexapro Girlies, Lexaho, and Zoloft Gang.
It sounds like a parody movie from the 2000s.
It's insane. And one of those such influencers mentioned in the piece is named Nadia Akamoto. I want to show her first paid post for hers.
Wait, I thought it was this one first.
It was after. Let's go and show that one first, because this is showing sort of the pop culture phenomenon of these drugs.
I'ma pick me up some antidepressants.
Silly.
Yeah,
it's quirky.
I'ma pick me up some
Yeah, like it's a laughing matter.
Maybe when people talk about white genocide, it's not that bad. These
So,
white women.
In this next post, you can see Nadia back in 2022 posting her first sponsored content with hers, telling her followers basically, if you feel sad during the winter, you should just get on some pills.
So, like, what you're saying is all those years that I worked to, like, get off the drugs, I could have just gotten a sponsorship instead.
Yeah.
I could have been like, having trouble sleeping, here's some Ambien.
Mm-hmm.
I recently went back up in my dosage for antidepressants, and honestly, I needed it. It's hard to admit, but sometimes my mental
The
health
body
journey
language
can
is
feel
crazy.
like baby steps forward, and every now and then, some big steps back. And the last couple months have been tricky, I think, between some personal things, work stresses, and also just the overall added anxiety of seasonal depression and holiday craziness. And
The stock music in the background is crazy work.
we all know that this time of year can be really hard on our mental health. The winter can really suck all of our energy, and with the sun going down earlier, it can really feel like a dark hole. A few fixes for me have been 1, hot yoga every single day, 2, getting my vitamins, especially vitamin B and D, and 3, working with my mental health support team, mainly a therapist and a psychiatrist.
She's got a team? How do you afford that, bro?
To make sure that my medication is on the right track. And you know, getting the right medication is a lifelong journey. As your body, your mood, and your mental health change over time, it's important to have it be an ongoing conversation. And it's important to have a trusted partner that you can build a long-lasting relationship with. If you're interested in trying out medication or just looking for that support system, I would recommend hers. Hers connects you with a medical provider who you can have an ongoing communication with as you find the right solution for you, personalized to exactly what you need. So this holiday season, take care of you. Don't be afraid to sleep in, take more naps.
Remember, women will always be like, just remember to forgive yourself and don't do anything. Okay, I'm sorry. This is exactly what we were talking about earlier. Remember when I said everything is a subscription? Even your happiness is now on subscription. Now you have to pay a fee to be happy.
We have a 20 from Corey Anderson. I highly advise against taking meds that haven't been prescribed by your doctor. These influencers are going to be sued for this crap. I say this as someone who with diagnosed clinical depression. These people are retarded.
Yes.
Yeah, so here's my take on this. And there's obviously people that do require these things. Not everybody's the same. I think in the modern age with technology and the ease of access to information and everything, I think that personal fulfillment is at an all-time low, which is causing people to feel these weird depression holes. For me, I don't even have time to worry about it throughout the year. I don't even think about I get stressed. Yeah. But I don't even think about anything like that. But when the winter off season hits and I'm sitting at home doing nothing, I start getting a little bit down because there's nothing I'm pushing towards, driving towards. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the thing is they don't have anything to drive towards. They go to college, they get their useless degree, and now they're waiting around and they're like, I want to do something, I want to produce something, but they don't really know that that's the answer because they've never felt that personal fulfillment because they grew up in an upper middle class home given everything they need. I grew up in a trailer park, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everything was a personal accomplishment, so that's what kept me driving and away from that, I think.
They're like, are you depressed? Have you tried sleeping in? Have you tried not doing anything?
Hell yeah.
It's so absurd to say to your followers, like, if you feel sad in the winter, you should get on these pills, and you can
Which are unbelievably difficult to get off.
Yeah, exactly. That's part of the reason they put this piece together, because Nadia herself wants to get off of them because they caused so many terrible side effects for her, and she felt like every time she tried to talk to doctors about just tapering off of it or getting off of it altogether, they were like, no, we think you need more. You need this like a diabetic person needs insulin. That's because you have a chemical imbalance, and people get stuck in this mindset that something is just inherently wrong with them forever.
And I will always kind of pull it back. There are obviously people that need these medications. They exist for a reason, but to pretend like they are not overprescribed in current year. Look, they put me on so many drugs when I was younger, whether it's antidepressants, I was on Adderall, I was on Ambien, I was on all of these things. And as I was explaining yesterday or last night, it's a prison. it's a prison of your own making. It's a prison in a bottle because it will dictate what you can do with your life. It will dictate where you can go. It will dictate what situations you allow yourself to enter. Want to go out and do something? Oh, well, do I have enough of my medication that I can take it with me and have it the next morning? Do I have to be the pharmacy the next morning? They are handcuffs. It is a horrible thing. If you need them, I advise going to a doctor if that's what they say, but I would caution anyone against medications unless it is the last resort.
It's no different than I have friends that will drink like 20 beers to 25 beers 7 days a week every single day. And it's the same thing. It's like I have these friends who are struggling to pay rent. You know, they're living paycheck to paycheck and they're spending hundreds, if not over $1,000 on alcohol a month just to basically function. So it's like the same. It's like anything else that's, you know, something that you're tied to. Like it starts becoming an anxiety in itself, or when you're going to be able to get it again, if you're going to be able to afford it, all those things.
That was what it was like for me. So mine wasn't just the prescription medications; it was the opiates and all the things that I was not prescribed to. Yeah. That my entire life revolved around whether I was going to be able to find it or not. And it's actually funny. Like now, I look at where I am in life, and I'm like, well, no wonder you couldn't accomplish anything. You literally only had one thing that you could focus on. And I used to think at that time that I was not less depressed, but less emotional. But that's because all of it went into this one thing, whereas once you get off of it, your life expands and you get to do a whole bunch more. You can get into relationships, you can get a fulfilling job, hopefully you can do all of these things that matter, and then the anxiety finds its way to that. But that's good. You need to work towards accomplishing things. Yeah. And that type of anxiety is the type that hardens you and helps grow you as a person. Use
your anxiety towards production, not towards your own vices. And a lot of people will say like, well, you need to encourage your friends to stop. Dude, I've had friends do the wildest things in the past, and I have called them on the phone and been like, hey man, like maybe you should think about like cutting back on these things. And it does not matter what you say. It can't be fixed unless you like lock them in a room.
They have to be ready.
They have to want to do it themselves, man. And that's the thing is, you know, I've almost come to the point where I don't, unless it's like a really dangerous situation, I won't even like ask somebody or recommend somebody coming off something like that, because it'll only damage your friendship more, because they have to want to do it themselves. You can throw it in the conversation. Hey man, what have you ever thought about this? And if it doesn't cause anger, leave it at that. But it's usually they're gonna have to want to do it themselves, or like have to have some kind of legal intervention.
Yeah.
I want to push back on the idea that some people need this. I don't think that. That's my personal opinion. I know it's controversial. I was prescribed SSRIs for a short period of time when I was like 14, 15. I decided one day that I just felt like these aren't like doing anything, so I just stopped taking them, and it wasn't like this catastrophic thing that some people experience. And I don't take people at their word when they say that they need them, because I think a lot of this is mimetic, and a lot of people have no idea the type of life and texture of life that they're missing out on when unmedicated, because they've been medicated since childhood. That includes Alex Earl, huge influencer, has a huge female following, mentioned in this piece. She opened up about being on Lexapro for anxiety since she was in high school, and she's now in her late 20s. She got millions of views talking about this, shaking her prescription bottle of pills on camera and telling her followers to talk to a therapist if they have similar symptoms. And she has since posted even more videos about Lexapro and her anxiety, and that inspires some viewers. Learning that Earl is a Lexapro girly too just proves the baddest bitches have crippling anxiety, said one.
Can we just get a middle ground here where it's like, okay, you can say that nobody needs them. I'll say maybe some people need them. But can we find a middle ground where we just say no bad bitches? Like, you shouldn't trivialize it like that?
Absolutely.
Can we settle there?
I'm just saying, like, that's my unpopular opinion. I think that if you are depressed or anxious, you should instead try to search for why that is and get to the root cause if there is one, instead of numbing those emotions. And I think that, you know, suffering isn't necessarily I don't know where we get this idea in society that like all suffering needs to be alleviated. I just fundamentally disagree with that.
It's the human condition.
It's what a lot of people in fitness will talk about. Like, you need to allow yourself to become used to discomfort. You
That's
need to
the whole
you
point,
need to
yeah.
let it into your life. And look, it's not always easy, right? Because life is basically designed to be dummy proof in a lot of ways. Like we've created a society that's designed to save people from themselves. So you're like carrying the groceries up and you're like, oh, these are heavy. Like you have to find a way to introduce discomfort into your life in some way, shape, or form.
Like, with anxiety, it physically means you're having the symptoms of someone who's in a life or death situation, physiologically speaking. And if you feel that way when you're just like sitting on your couch in your house, you know, you should probably figure out why you feel that way instead of taking a medication to stop it.
It goes back to personal fulfillment. They're not accomplishing anything to get that dopamine hit. So something's getting backed up somewhere. And you made a good point about like fitness. Like a lot of people, I'll be like, yeah, I'm on my cut diet like I am right now. I do it every single year. And they're like, so like, why would you want to lose weight? You were only like 190 or, 200, or why would you want to lose weight? And I'm like, it's not really about that. That's a good bonus to get into better shape, obviously, every year, but it recenters everything. Like, it makes me more focused on every single aspect of my life because I'm introducing this almost like militaristic like discipline back in, where I do the same thing every day. I eat the exact same thing at the exact same time every day, and I do not deviate for like 70 to 90 days. And it just kind of recenters everything in my life back to a real point. And then by the time August hits, I start getting kind of down and depressed. I'm eating like pizza and drinking, claws and shit. And yeah, but then October hits and November hits, and I start recentering everything. And then by the time February hits, I'm just really like, I'm locked in, mentally, I think. And I think that's a bigger reason why I do it. And I think that's a lot of people look past that and they don't actually understand the whole point in getting on that. They need some kind of discipline and structure, because that structure is the most important thing ever, man. Like if you're sitting around and just wandering around, not knowing what you're doing, like, oh, what's for dinner? Every night, what do you want for dinner? What do you want for dinner? I start getting pissed when I'm asked that. Yeah. What do you want for dinner? Bro, I don't care. Please leave me alone. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I want to know what I'm eating. I want to know where I'm going, and I want to know everything that's going on so I can focus on that.
I think I'll actually lose weight just by working a lot, because by virtue of being home, I'm just snacking more. Like it's not even by necessarily for me eating healthier. It's just not giving myself access to a bunch of stuff that I don't necessarily even want. It's like, you're not hungry, you're just bored.
Think about it. This chick who was mentioned at the beginning of the article, who texted somebody to get drugs sent to her house, do you think they asked her if she tried working out, tried fixing her sleep schedule, tried maybe investing into other people rather than herself? They didn't ask her any of those questions. So I don't want to hear that it was anyone's last resort. That is simply not true. Let's read some super chats. Greg Duvier said he's making left turn. He is making another left turn. We need to take a commercial break, but don't worry, you will not miss a thing.
It's true. That's exactly what it's like.
Dingus Khan of Gongolia said, have any of you heard the song Fear by NF? Been seeing a lot of reaction videos. Love the artist and song. Cody, are you going to be running NCTS next year?
I don't know. I'll know more, but I don't plan on announcing anything until Daytona, though. But I'll be doing a lot of stuff. I don't really want to announce it because it's too far. It's just too far off. But yeah, I'll be around for sure.
Brett, you said you were like a fan of NF, right?
I mean, there's like a couple of songs.
I saw like Michael Knowles doing a reaction to his.
Because I believe NF is Christian.
Is he?
I think I could be completely wrong about that, but
no, I haven't heard the song though. Yeah. To answer the question, Shawnee M. Davis said the Southern Gentleman has returned. Sucks YouTube is being lame. They probably hate Naked Snake. Get the hell on it, doggone it.
They don't like it. They don't like when I take my shirt off.
We have another from Rakita Law. Bro, why your face looking like a cheesecake in that pic? Did seeing it make you want to eat it? High calorie person. Just kidding. I love you.
That's true.
Oh, I'm not reading the last part.
That's true. Okay. Oh yeah, the baby touch. Yeah, that's my buddy Nick. It's I'm starving 24/7. I didn't even eat yesterday until I got back to the hotel at like midnight. Yeah. So I'm usually pretty structured, but when I travel, I don't know what to do. That's what's so hard when I'm traveling. I'm like, I'll order like 2 McDoubles. Yeah, just snake them.
Those are healthy. What are you talking about?
They're delicious.
McDonald's is really good for you.
They're delicious. But I got like grilled chicken wrap from from Chick-fil-A and then ripped the lettuce off. And it was pretty damn good.
I posted the pictures of the side-by-side of me being noticeably skinnier. It's like, really, it's because my wife stopped working at a diner where I got free food all the time.
Those fried pickles.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Oh.
Exploding Prinny said the Mankeeping article is right up the Prim Reaper's alley. If you don't know who she is, look her up. She's great. Hashtag Mocha owes Brett for emotional labor.
I'm going to charge Mocha.
Who is the Prim Reaper?
I don't know what that means.
No idea.
Okay. I'm lost. Brian Bledsoe said, Mary, could you explain more on AI syntax? Well, we all recognize it, don't we?
Yeah.
They have pointed out AI loves the rule of threes. Like, it loves listing 3 things, whatever it may be, even if it doesn't add to the description at all or communicate anything. It loves saying, it's not this, it's that. It loves making use of a meaningless simile or metaphor that has no place in the description of whatever it was told to generate. Those are a few signs, but, you know, we all know it when we see it. Of course, the M dashes are a classic tell, but I love M dashes. I feel like I had M dashes taken away from me.
Now you can't use them because people are going to accuse you of using AI. We've got a Rumble rant here from the local Wendigo. Says, I was on different ADHD meds as a kid, and I was always in a fog with no appetite, and I stopped taking the pills in high school. I had withdrawals, but once that had passed, I've been so much better in life. I never had withdrawals. I had psychological repercussions for going off the uppers, obviously, once you have to like go out into the world again, and I had to relearn how to focus and relearn how to stay on task with a lot of stuff. It took a really long time, and that was a year. You probably were smart to get off of it earlier in life, but like now, anything that I accomplish is by virtue of having to learn how to actually live without the meds again. But I'll tell you what I did always love when I had them was when they would run out and suddenly I had an appetite again. I was like, bro, it feels good to eat, which it never did. And for me, my issues with opiates came as a way of coping with the come down from the heavy uppers after a period of time. So don't do it. It's bad for you guys. Stay away from it. Let's hold off on the rest. I guess we'll come back. We got to move on.
Okay. We're going to talk about the male loneliness epidemic. Recently, a TikToker was eating alone at a restaurant and decided to, pick up the phone and record, because you just do that now. You just record yourself doing everything now. And we're the passive observers meant to interpret this. It's captioned, you don't know lonely, until you have to take yourself for that meal alone, because sitting in a room with strangers is better than sitting in your own thoughts in an empty room. And then it asks, would you go to a restaurant by yourself? And in this video, you can see the TikToker is like literally crying, like tears streaming down their face.
Here's the video.
While eating at this, like, I don't even know what kind of restaurant this is. You're eating like fries and a burrito. Thank you, guys.
We've got tonal issues. Hold on.
Oh my god.
We're talking about someone having a mental breakdown. This is fine.
Okay, back to what we were doing.
So yeah, you can see in the video, this person is crying in public, and a lot of people said this is,
hey,
it's doing it again. We keep having that problem.
Continue.
But a lot of people are saying this is symptomatic of the male loneliness epidemic, which itself has become not a buzzword, but a buzz term. Yeah. And I want to know your thoughts as men. Do you enjoy going out to eat alone? Do you think that this is something that, inherently is depressing? Because what you were saying earlier, Cody, is that when you're out alone, you still talk to people. It still involves social interaction, but on the other hand, if you were not interacting with people, would that be depressing?
I don't know. There's something about you yourself being the end-all, be-all in a situation, like just being completely alone and being happy with it. A lot of people, I think, they have this idea, or maybe that they're not happy with themselves, or they don't know they can be happy just being with themselves, being alone. I lived alone for years after my ex-wife had left, and that was it's like something I romanticize now and think about, because just being alone and being happy with my situation and being happy with myself was really inspiring, and I got really, really comfortable in it. And then, of course, you know, years later, like I said, I started going out and getting some hot wings and just sitting by myself. And I was nervous at first, but I kind of was just like, I'm just going to do it. I'm like, yes, man, type of thing. And I just really enjoy just sitting there and like people watching and observing. Some people will talk to me, yeah, sure. But sometimes they don't, and that's completely fine.
And no phone? You're not like scrolling while eating?
My phone usually always dies. I don't know why. I think it's because I leave the gym and come right over and I'm listening to music at the gym. But it's across the street from my gym. And I think what it boils down to is people need affirmation, and people need to bounce off other people and get that affirmation and feel like they have value. And I think if people just realized that they had, you know, their own value in some way, shape, or form, and they could be happy with that in the moment, they could enjoy going out and, you know, just being at a restaurant alone. The dude, I don't know, you said he was crying in the video?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's that either A, that's absolute bullshit and fake, or B, the dude's like got some issues and he needs to figure it out, because you don't go to a restaurant alone out of necessity. Like, you don't go out at a restaurant alone as a man and start crying in the booth. That's like, I need freaking Don Corleone to stand up and be a man, slap him and stuff, because that's cringe.
You're right. This person does have issues. I learned just minutes later after seeing this post that this is a woman. This person is a woman. And
it always makes sense in the end.
Yeah, if you look up her TikTok account, it's very clear that this person is a female-to-male transsexual, and people are, you know, using this video of a woman who is in a costume of a man to draw conclusions about what it's like to be a man. And I think that's an inherently misguided conversation to have. I was reminded of a clip that Libs of TikTok posted a couple of years ago of a female to male transsexual talking about the experience of, you know, other people interacting with you as if you're a man when you experience being interacted with as a woman before, and how difficult that has proven to be. I wanted to show that as well.
Here we go.
Nobody told me how lonely being a man is. I had closer friendships with random women I met in the bathroom before I transitioned at clubs because of how open women are than I've had in my 8 years of transitioning.
It's because you're a woman.
Because women are just so much more vulnerable and deep than men. But to have known, and I think a lot of trans men feel this, is we knew what depth felt like before we transitioned. We knew what it felt like to like have people want to hug us. And to have people want to talk to us. And to have a community. And then you transition and you're just a guy walking down the street that people cross the street so that they're not near you. And friendships are so much harder to build. And people are colder. And what's hard is none of this invalidates how real and raw women and people who are in marginalized groups feel about cis white men. All of that's valid.
What?
But I also now understand why the suicide rate is so much higher in men. Because this shit is lonely. And I'm an emotionally mature man. I know how to build friendships, and it is still really, really hard.
All right, you get the picture.
Yeah, there's nothing more emotionally mature than sobbing every time you talk about anything ever. It's like, dude, like, men deal with stress differently, and that's something you obviously can't. It's biological, obviously, and men have extremely deep relationships with men that they've been friends with since. I have friends that were at my house last week playing spades that went to preschool with me, and I don't even live. I live hours from where I grew up. They moved to the same city I moved because we're all friends. And ask any woman if they've ever had a friendship longer than 6 months until one of them said something at slight or hit on their boyfriend, and suddenly they're their mortal enemies. Sorry, fake compliments and saying, "Oh my God, your dress looks so good today," when they actually hate it, is not deep and real and emotionally mature. And saying stuff like, "Oh, everything they say about how evil white cis men are is totally valid. But also like white cis men are like they have a lot of suicide, and I totally understand it too because like they are marginalized and no one wants to be around them and everyone hates them. I'm like, everything you're saying is complete ass backwards and the opposite of what the truth is, which is probably why you can't keep along like friendships, because probably they meet a guy and they're like, the guy's like, hey, what's up? And they're like, hey, what's up? And then you start crying and then you compliment their eyebrows and they're like, all right, you weirdo, get away from me. Like, I don't want to ever hang out with this person again.
I just thought that it was strange to take this video and interpret it as having anything to do with the male experience, because we're not hearing from a man. So, you know, being a woman in disguise as a man is nothing like being a man, being an actual man. So why would we think that this is like, you know, why would we think that this speaks to the male experience or like the male loneliness epidemic when you're hearing from a woman? Obviously, you know, you cannot change what's on the inside, and she is underneath it all an irrevocably feminine woman who wants to be treated like a woman, wants to be in friendships with other women, and yet is being validated in this horrific mutilation. Similarly, you can see the same behavior in the woman in the first video at the restaurant. You know, someone who wants to commune with people and talk, like that's how women bond with each other. And yet you are working through like all the power you have against your own nature. Now, if we're talking about men, I did find this one study from Korea actually that claimed to prove eating dinner alone leads to depression, particularly for men. It said a recent study shows a man who has dinner alone is 2.4 times more likely to suffer from depression than a person who eats dinner with family members. And that makes perfect sense. It's not really about the dinner. It's, I think someone who is alone in their apartment where they live alone is just more likely to be depressed because they're alone. It's not really about like specifically eating dinner alone that's a problem, because plenty of men responded to this tweet saying like, I eat dinner alone all the time. I have no idea what he's crying about.
Yeah, well, for one, there's a big reason why.
Oh, go ahead.
They're crying.
Yeah. What? Why?
No, go ahead and read it.
No.
Wait, what?
20.
Oh, I didn't see it. Sorry about that. From the Manic Mustache, late as usual, but apropos to being beta blocked, I didn't have time to be depressed. In my 30s, I was too busy raising my teenage daughter and doing everything I could as a single parent to keep her off the stripper pole. Stay toxic, my friends. Wow. Well, I'm glad that it worked. Yeah, I guess that's another factor. People have too much time on their hands to think about how they feel.
But continue.
So basically, you know, they're obviously attributing it to eating alone, but it's just being alone in general.
Yeah.
And the most unfortunate thing about depression, it's such a weird like idea or like phenomenon. When you're depressed, the way to fix depression is to go out and manually fix it, right? But that is the hardest thing to do when you're depressed. It's like the weirdest thing. Like, you know how you can relatively get some kind of joy out of life, but you can't make yourself do it because you're in turn depressed. It's like a weird like maelstrom. And I'm gonna say the most cliche thing possible, but the best thing you can do is join a gym and go to the gym every single day and use that to fuel that. You'll meet people at the gym and it will fix everything if you become dedicated to it. It'll fix everything. And I'm not talking about Planet Fitness.
And that would have been, for me, that would have been skating. So from the age of 12, I've had something that I've been deeply passionate about that I do all the time. And very few people find something at that young of age where they're now almost 40 and they still do it multiple times a week. I talked to my dad last night. He sent me a text. My dad, even with everything he's been through in the last couple of years, he goes out, spends his winters in Florida. He's in a softball league and he's about to be 80. He is 80. he turned 80 this year, and he's still playing in a softball league despite all his health issues. And that's something that he understands, that he, benefits him, not just because it's good for him physically, but there's community there. He gets to interact with people that he wouldn't otherwise interact with. The same is true for me in skating. I can go anywhere in this country, and there are people that I can go hang out with, because so many of the people, it's such a not tight knit, but a small community. So you find somebody in any town. Go skating, and I have something to do. I have purpose on days even when I'm not working. I find purpose here at work, and I have purpose, in my private life with my wife, and then I have purpose with skating because it gives me something to set out and accomplish, and that is a great way. So going out to dinner alone doesn't bother me.
It's a
never will.
It's a learned skill.
Yep.
People don't. They'll be depressed because they don't understand what fulfillment's like. This rings true with a lot of rich kids growing up. Like a lot of my friends that were hyper rich growing up, they're now on drugs and like they're in their mid-30s and they do nothing, absolutely nothing. They dropped out of college and they do nothing because they never had a source of fulfillment when they were growing up. They don't know what it's like. But all you need is to learn it the first time, and you will search for that the rest of your life. And the same thing can be said about skateboarding or gym or whatever you find your passion to be, or to throw all of that negative energy into. Once you learn the benefits of it the first time, you'll never stop doing it or understanding that you can do it. Like when my dad is feeling down, he will go to the shop and start welding. His guys are there, his coworkers there. He'll do different projects. He'll throw himself into a thing because he understands that's what he needs to do to get there. But a lot of people haven't learned that, so they just fall into a little ball and sit in their apartment because they don't know how to fix it. They don't realize that, their friends tell them they can fix it by going out, but they don't realize that actually is true until they learn it. And once you learn it the first time, you'll always be chasing that.
I mean, for me, I've never been a naturally very depressive person. It's not my personality type, but I think for me, it's the ability to just talk to people. Like, I think most women would feel this way. Like, you're at your happiest when you have ongoing relationships, friendships, when you're able to talk to people, not about your feelings necessarily, but just in general, when I have the time to reflect on my own thoughts. Yeah. And of course, like, church is a huge thing for me, and regular prayer habit is
that would
the
be
thing
your
for
analog
me.
For that, yeah.
I did go out to dinner alone recently, which I really didn't want to do because I was like, this is going to be so boring. And then it was super boring, and I don't like admitting it, but I did scroll while eating. So I don't know. Maybe it's a skill I'm not going to learn in this life.
I'll speak more to the idea of fulfillment and searching. So there is a point where, because I found something that I love from such a young age, a lot of people in the space, they have other interests. Like they're into music, they play guitar, they play drums, they're artists, they do any number of things. I never had anything else like that. I don't have like a secondary hobby that actually fulfills me. So that's actually something where I can understand, which is like, I wish I did have something else that I felt spoke to me the way that skating does, but I've yet to find something like that. I get it a little bit with work, meaning that when I see stuff that I want to talk about, I get that same itch to go and do it that I do when I see good, like I go watch skating edits and I'm like, okay, I need to get out and go do this right now. I get a little bit of that from this, but it's kind of different because it's also work. So it's not the same. I might feel differently about that if this was like something I did in my personal time as opposed to something I did for work. But I get the idea of consistently searching for more. But I think a lot of them, they don't. They think that antidepressants will fill the void, like we talked about in the previous topic, or they're just going to sit there and can't imagine a life other than the one they're in. But then you do get the people who speak in the space, and it's through no fault of their own, but it doesn't speak to you when David Goggins is running 10 miles and is like, your life has to be difficult. Like, unless you're like already predisposed to want to go find that, or there has been an inciting incident to push you towards it, it's not going to happen. Like, I'm sure very, very few people without some type of corroborating incident in their private life just like woke up one day, saw David Goggins run 10 miles and were like, you know what? I want to do that. Like, something has to push you towards that. I don't know if it's the same concept as like hitting rock bottom, but you need to find purpose some other way.
I'm reminded of that slam poet who said, like, because I don't put creatine in my fucking cornflakes.
Stay hard.
Okay, let's finish up these super chats, Shane H. Wilder said, when men have issues, we may talk about it, or we may want time alone to gather our thoughts before discussing it rationally without being emotional.
Yeah, so Olivia will point out that when something at work is stressing me out, I'll get noticeably more quiet for a period of time while I work through it, and then things kind of recalibrate and get back to the way they were. But it's definitely not like, let's talk about this.
That's what men do. That's the best thing you can do. And it sometimes it works as a woman as well. Like just being comfortable with sitting with somebody in silence, maybe embracing them. But not everybody wants unsolicited advice. I know I don't, especially as a man.
Yeah.
Like I'll be like, I'm having an issue and I'm frustrated, and people are trying to give me unsolicited advice. That's almost always bad. And I'm like, dude, like this is not what I want. I don't want your advice. I want to stew. And women are kind of that way as well, because there's the popular meme where a woman is complaining about something and the man is giving solutions, and it makes a woman madder. They're like, I'm more mad because you're instead of just like listening to me talk about it and then sitting in silence and embracing me, you're trying to give solutions, and that's not what I'm looking for. And a lot of people they misinterpret that as, oh, well, I'm supporting you by saying all these things. Like, no, sometimes the best support is just sit in silence, maybe embrace them. Like, the best feeling in the world is like, I'll be down and out, and I'll be just like standing in the shower, and like my girl will like come in the shower and just come behind me and like put her arms like right here and her head on my back of my like neck and just stand like that on, and it's just like fixes everything.
Compassion is not about giving people advice. It's about suffering with them.
Yeah, just sitting.
That's literally the meaning of the word, is that you're undergoing something with somebody else.
Olivia is in the chat. She says, I think I'm good at listening and not giving solutions when I know he doesn't want it.
Period, queen.
Yeah, you got to know that. You got to know, unless they're directly asking you, you got to know that they're not looking for answers. They're looking for support.
Daniel J. Corica said, Cody, is the Timcast truck going to be available as a 164 model in the future? Good luck next season, sir. Deport all illegals. Go Ice.
Thank you. I agree. No. So the 164s, we had a run of 55 of them that sold out day one. And I will probably be doing it again. I know they're done. And they should be. I should be getting them like in my hands here in a few weeks. And we might do another run. It's just I charge a lot for them. I charge way more than I should ever charge for them. And to make them, the profit margin's like half. But yeah, I don't know. They just take a long time to make because they're all done, like they're manufactured by hand. So they're really high quality. So they take a little bit longer than I would like. And I charge a lot for them, and they're like a big investment, right? So if like you're spending $20,000 to make $40,000, if you don't sell all of them, it could be devastating, especially for right now while YouTube's trying to kill my ass. So, but they might maybe in the future, but not as of right now.
Kyle Dixon said, "Happy birthday, Shane H. Wilder." I said,
"Happy birthday!"
Happy birthday. Shane said, "It took y'all a damn year to get that play button. Cody, I stand with you, brother. I still don't get how they can do this to you. It's effed up."
Yeah, it is weird. That's why it was trending for 2 days, because everybody's like blown away, like what the hell's going on? And YouTube's not giving any answers. No one's giving any answers, and YouTube still, they sent me the original email, and that's all they've sent me, and I haven't got anything since. And I streamed about it the other day, and my PayPal and my Venmo is on my stream, and I never talk about them and never have. Because I've always relied on Superchats, and they've always taken care of me. And as long as I can pay my bills, I'm happy. I'm not going to ask people for anything. But people were going wild on my PayPal and Venmo, which was insane. And it made me feel a lot better because I was ready to quit. I was like, I'm done with YouTube because I'm not going to be able to afford this. And I'm going to go get a job on base.
You don't do this for your health.
Normal life. And then people started hitting the PayPal and Venmo in a really over the top, and I mean a huge way. And I was like, okay, maybe I can tough this out. And, because if people choosing to support you in that way means that they value in some way, shape, or form what you bring to the table. I don't think I'm that enjoyable, but some people really choose to support you, and I'm like, well, I got to do what's right by them. If they're choosing to support in that way, these people are texting me on the phone, asking me how I'm doing. Cecil just texted me and said, "Hey man, I hope you're okay." So. Yeah, I owe it to those people to push past my initial knee-jerk emotions about it, and just try to fight through it and try to win it in the end would be the best result. So yeah.
The mayor of Seriostown said, if I give enough super chats every day, will you hire Mr. Dennison full time? Man's a poet. Well, you'd have to ask Tim about whether he wants to hire Cody, but
He had to be flying my ass all the time.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe Tim would be open to
I do
it.
love Tim. Me and Tim have a lot of fun. So
Brian Bledsoe said the AI bot rights future was in the show Humans. I don't know if I've watched that show.
I never saw that one.
No Control said claws are based.
yeah.
Morgan Xavier said been married 18 years. Hubby was diagnosed bipolar in year 7. Managing his mood swings is hard, but I believe God put us together for a reason. It's hard, but iron sharpens iron, and I am stronger because of him. Well, that's
Awesome.
a positive
That's
story to
amazing.
share in the middle of kind of a depressing episode. Corey Anderson said, Tim, you need to hook Mary up with a wardrobe budget and Brett with a skate replacement fund. Race car drivers should have to drive drunk, max entertainment. That would lead to many deaths.
That would be bad, yes.
Is there such a thing? Because I'm always like, I'm a huge advocate of the steroid Olympics. I believe that every pro sport should have a division solely for people who just want to be gacked out of their mind and take all the substances.
Well, then the normal division would just die out at that point.
That's
no
awesome.
one would care.
we don't need it.
I don't. I want every baseball player to look like those sharks, like from the cartoon Sharks. They should all be jacked to the gills. Their jerseys should be ripping off, and they should actually be able to crush the bat in their hand. And the pitchers should be equally, because that's the thing about the steroid scandal. Everyone's like, oh, the hitters were taking steroids. You think the pitchers weren't taking steroids? You're wrong.
Man, it's people forget. If you go back and look at that time period in baseball, like, everybody was jacked.
Yeah, I always at the home run derby in '99, Mark McGwire looks like he's killing a bird with his teeth when he's chewing the gum. He's like,
Yeah, dude.
like, it's awesome, and that's what baseball. That's what baseball
Someone
should
clip
be.
Brett doing that, please.
That's what football should be. That's what basketball should be. That's what hockey should be. And you know what? Leave the hockey
And even
players alone.
hobby horsing.
Yes, and even hobby horsing.
We have a 20 over on Rumble.
Yeah, it's Archimedes, spelled a very interesting way. It says, I was married for 15 years, divorced for 7. I've built a good life, raised a good son, but still only seem to find less than desirable people. I hang out with family often, but always as the only single. Yeah, it's not easy out there.
No.
I thank my lucky stars every day. I got very, very lucky.
Got the last chopper out.
I did. I got the last. I mean,
They all say that, don't they?
I did. I was like, oh, you Gen Z and you Gen Alphas. I don't know how you're gonna do it, but I
was thinking the other day, like, oh my gosh, because we were talking about when teenagers date. Like, I was thinking about what is it like to be a parent of a teenage girl. When that happens to me, I am going to be fending off grown-up men who were iPad babies who want to date my daughter.
Yeah.
Terrifying future. Super Moron said, Cody is my favorite race car driver. Coincidentally, he is the only race car driver I know, but he is my favorite. You a good man, Cody.
Thank you.
Exploding Prinny said the antidepressants trend will end with unedited footage of a bear. What does that mean? I'd have no idea what that means.
I have
no idea.
I feel like
Okay.
I'm missing something.
Yeah, me too. We have another 20 from Pop Culture Junkie. Lived alone most of my life. Parents have both passed, no siblings. Don't mind eating alone. I have a range of good friends I have known for 11 to 55 years.
Damn.
I have a great circle of them here. Not lonely and very grateful.
Yeah. If you are happy being alone, it's a superpower. I feel like you can do anything. And that's where I built my entire life, was when I was alone. I started YouTube, started everything when I was alone. And I don't know if I'd have done that because I'm the kind of person that likes to skip a stream and hang out with, my girl or something, or hang out with my buddies and play some spades and skip a stream. And my first days on YouTube, I grinded and I did not stop for years.
Did we get these two from Corey Anderson about NF?
Yeah.
You got those ones?
I asked you about NF. Are you losing it a little bit? I did ask you about NF.
No,
earlier.
this is a response to that. It says NF is Christian, but not like a lame Christian rapper. He doesn't cuss, and his flow is awesome. I highly suggest giving his song Time a listen.
Oh, those are like way later than the ones I'm reading.
Okay.
Shane H. Wilder said, are you depressed? Take Fuck It All. Fuck It All may cause manic episodes, suicidal thoughts, heart murmurs, demonic possession, and diarrhea.
Okay.
Sounds like a great idea. Bodhi Guya said, oh, he just sent us a sticker.
Thank you.
JP Wolf said, sub or PPH drums would suck. I prepare What does that mean? Ike?
I can't see it.
I don't know what that means. Sorry. Robert Delera said, when you watch these drug commercials on TV and listen about the side effects, they are worse than the actual medical issue.
Yep.
This is true. E7Z45 said, my fave RZ boner pills that may cause blindness.
Okay.
I only understood about half of that. Ben Ryder said, I've been on antipsychotic half my life. I need it. Okay, well, we were talking about SSRIs, which are treating much different problems than antipsychotics are prescribed for. You know, I'm not saying all psych meds are unnecessary and a bad idea. I just mean, you know, if you're dealing with, like, anxiety or depression, maybe you should explore other options. Grolgar said, oh, so my bipolar grandmother doesn't need her meds. I'll go flush them now. Okay, you guys are being offended for literally no reason when you and your grandmother were not part of the conversation at all. Okay? Robert Delera said, how about less AI and less drugs and more God and more prayer? Just a thought. It's a good thought. Thank you for sharing it. Tophone Man said, look up Dr. Joseph at Taper Clinic. He's telling the same as Mary. Well, they also mentioned in that article that, like, doctors still don't know, like, why some people benefit from them and some people don't. And even when you put people on sugar pills, they have the same benefits from taking the actual medication. And it's literally just the act of taking a pill that makes them feel like they're improving. So, you know, I don't really believe in its efficacy. Morgan Xavier said mental illness is not an accessory. Can't wait to get off my meds. Exercise and listening to JRE, Goggins, Timcast, etc. is where I'm finding strength. Sounds like a good idea.
Yep.
I wish you luck. Corey Anderson said a lot of Ronnie Radke's latest songs have been influenced by NF.
Okay.
I haven't listened to a lot of Ronnie Radke's new music.
I like this newest album was awesome.
I'm more into the, like, Escape the Fate and Falling in Reverse songs from back in the day.
Oh, God, I'm the complete opposite, where it's so over the top with that, like, emo voice.
You don't Not Good Enough for Truth and his cliche? Like, you don't like that?
I dig it, but, like,
on.
the new stuff is just so brutal. I love it.
Shane H. Wilder said, I generally don't go to a sit-down restaurant alone. I've gone to the movies and other activities alone. There is nothing wrong with being by yourself some. I don't understand why going to a movie alone would be so weird, because you're literally just going to be watching the movie anyway. If someone were with you, you wouldn't be having a conversation.
It's narcissism. They think that the people sitting in front of them are like, look at that guy back there. He's such a loser.
Yeah. Raken Knight said, men have friendships where they don't talk for years and meet up for drinks and act like they saw each other yesterday.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, that is absolutely true.
Robert Delera said, if you want to go out and get something to eat by yourself or go to the movies by yourself, just do it. Don't be waiting for someone's approval.
Yep.
Agree. Shane H. Wilder said, since she is not a man, she doesn't realize how easily we make friends. We can literally go sup, and then become lifelong friends. Yep. It is an easier thing, for sure, for men to make friends and keep them. Karth Onasi said Cody even measured his friend Cecil's heartbeat one time.
Yep, it's true. It is true.
Not That John Stewart said, I used to be maintenance at several facilities, so we'd be traveling all over the South, driving alone, eating alone, sleeping alone, working alone. You get used to it. Yeah, I mean, I'm also, like, I live alone and I eat dinner alone. I never, like, thought it was this soul-crushing thing. Shane H. Wilder said, I find purpose through filming and creating shorts. I can always go out and do something, talking to people at church or going to adoration or vespers.
Yep.
Shane H. Wilder said, clipped it for you, Mary. Thank you. I appreciate that.
We are, like, dangerously close to a third crisis party, guys. We're almost there.
We're like 2 cents away.
Oh,
Not
my
really.
God.
Greg Duvier said, Cody, favorite racer growing up?
As a big Gordon fan, as you probably imagine.
I do assume we have other Rumble
Nope, we are, I believe
right?
we are.
Or was it just the 20?
Oh, there's one here at the end. It says, this is from B. Stevens, 1081, says, got engaged on Saturday, fighting the male loneliness epidemic.
Hell yeah.
Congratulations.
Congrats. She said yes. And if you were a woman saying that, I wouldn't congratulate you because that's poor etiquette.
Why is that poor etiquette?
You're only supposed to congratulate the man.
Oh, because she's the prize.
Well, and he asked, so he was the one taking a risk, right?
Yeah.
There you go. It's like, oh, great.
We had other Rumble rants there, but
No, we already did
I
those.
thought that
Didn't we?
were they the earlier ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm pretty sure we're good.
Yeah. We're good. I didn't miss any. I saw a sovereign citizen in the chat accuse me of being distracted. I was not distracted. All right. All right, guys. Before we go, would you hit the like button on this video? Subscribe to this channel if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. Please and thank you. We appreciate it, guys. And Cody, thank you.
Yeah, I love it. This is probably my favorite show to come on.
Of course.
I think.
Of all of them in the world.
It's just laid back. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just laid back.
Except for the explosions.
That's scary, yeah. No, I'm a little nervous when I'm on Timcast because, there's a lot of people. Phil's there. I've been a All That Remains fan since I was a young teenager. Tim's a big dude. JP was there last night. I was a little nervous, but you guys, you're just like normal people that are, meaningless.
We're so
He's like, so you guys kind of suck, so it's always easier to be on
easy
this
to
show.
talk and say
We've
whatever
heard that
I
a lot.
want.
We've heard that from a lot of people.
There are a couple of more super chats. Oh, no,
Yes.
let them know where they can find you, man.
Camelot 331 on YouTube. Every time I go live, I only pretty much stream and put up shorts now. I'm going to get back to video content. I know I took like 2-week break from video content regularly. But yeah, every time you go live, I lose like 100 subscribers almost every time I go live. I don't know what it is.
Weird.
It's just like a weird. I mean, me and Gundam have talked about it a lot. He has the same problem. It's like a purge thing, but it's whatever. Follow me on there. Camelot 331. Do Camel Cast with guests like Critical Drinker, Mr. Ricada, Zia. I've had Donut Operator on. I've had a lot. I've had Gus G from Ozzy Osbourne on. I've had Phil Labonte on. So Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday around 9 p.m. Central, I do Camelcast or just my normal show. And then Camelcast Off on Twitter or X. Go follow me on there. I'm always posting stuff every single day. So.
All right.
We have a few more here. Brian Bledsoe said Humans was a 2015 UK show with Gemma Chan.
I never saw it.
Shane H. Wilder said playing the new NASCAR when I can. I may have caused Cody to crash out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh. So I see it all the time on somebody we live stream it and they'll wreck my ass. I love it.
Greg Duvier said, I like turtles and the left lane is for crime.
I like turtles.
The obligatory phrases. And Rural Conservative said, I'm extremely extroverted, but as a man, it is very to sit in a tractor alone for hours.
Probably peaceful, relaxing.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of the above.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Well, before I sign off and shill my coffee, I do want to take this moment to announce some changes that are coming to our lives and as a consequence, the show, of course. So basically, here's it. We're coming up on Thanksgiving, and we have a few shows before then. But from Thanksgiving until, I believe, December 8th, we're going to be off air, and we're taking that extra time because I am moving. And we haven't been telling you guys about this, but over this past few weeks, we've been working on getting capabilities for me to remotely be on the show still. And we've worked through so many test runs to get this right. And we're finally getting close to the solution. And I'm really excited about it. I know that you guys are going to have a lot of questions, obviously. Some of them that I can answer, some of them that I can't. But yeah, some people have already tuned out of the show. You're going to see this on the replay. We're going to get back to you tomorrow, of course, with all of your questions that you have about it. Not only does this mean that I'm going to be on the show remotely, we're also going to have guests more frequently who are remote as well. People that you've seen on the show who flew to us are also going to be on remotely.
That's why I'm also going to start doing more one-on-one interviews with people, because we're going to have the capabilities of doing that remotely. I've got one coming up tonight after the show, another one on Monday, but we're expanding.
Yes.
Yep.
And I think that it's a reason to be optimistic, although I anticipate a lot of people who are going to be like crashing out over this news. Don't worry. Just, ask whatever questions you have, if you have them, and we will be as open and transparent about it as we can be at this stage. But obviously, how many shows do we have left before Thanksgiving? That's the 21st tomorrow. And then the 24th and 25th.
So 3 more. And
then we're off from the 26th.
And then on Wednesday of that week, I'm going to be doing a 1-hour solo update show talking just news in Hollywood. Hopefully.
Great timing with that one. Thank you, guys.
Yes.
Sorry, you were saying.
Okay, and I'm going to be doing a solo show on Wednesday for an hour since we've got Thanksgiving the next day. I'm going to be coming in doing that. I'm basically taking the concept of what I've been doing, which is I've been coming in during the week and filming. Hold on.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, you were saying. Brett.
Yes. And I'm going to be doing some extra shows and putting out extra content, which I've been doing. I've been filming 5-6 videos a week extra on top of doing PCC. What I'd like to be able to do is to put those into a 1-hour show every day where I just try to get 3 topics done all at once, since I don't like editing videos anyways. So that will be extended content that we do on Wednesday, and then I may be looking to expand and do more of that in the future.
Yes. We have gotten a few more super chats in the meantime. The Manic Mustache said there is a difference between being clinically depressed and just being a sad panda. Strive to be a red battle panda.
There
we
you
should
go.
all strive to be that. Rural Conservative said easy. Okay, I get what you mean now. And Greg Duvier said moving to the Gongo? Correct. That is exactly what is happening. I'm moving to the Gongo to be with my people. So now is the time for me to shill my coffee. Go to castbrew.com, get yourself a bag of Mary's Ghost Blend, my s'mores flavored coffee, and use code TURKEY20 for 20% off. You can send me validation on Instagram at MaryArchived, or you can send me hate on X, that is also MaryArchived, and help me get TikTok famous, that is also MaryArchived.
Perfect. If you guys want to follow me, I am on Instagram and X at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. This show is here 5 days a week, normally Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is, of course, noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you would like to listen rather than just watch the show, you can rate and review on Apple Podcast and on Spotify, which is another great way to help the channel out. And if you want to follow us on social media, we are on Twix at PopCulture_show, Facebook at Pop Culture Crisis, Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod, and remember, I will have a brand new episode of the PCC Weekend Update on Saturday on all of the audio platforms that will be available at 5 p.m. as always. Thank you guys so much for checking it out, and we will be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye, guys.